The following video was captured by a family late at night, just after dinner, while they were spending some quiet time together in their living room. Nothing unusual was happening. No tension, no fear, just a normal family winding down for the night. But what they captured on camera has since left many viewers unsettled. Watch closely.
No manches, mira, no. Tranquilo. No mames, güey. Ah, su máquina, no manches. Súbanse. ¿Qué es esto, cabrón?
According to the family, they've been dealing with a disturbing pattern of activity for quite some time now. Objects move around the house without explanation. Strange, shadowy figures have been spotted just outside their front door, often at odd hours of the night when no one else is outside. But the most terrifying part is the knocking. Every single day, without fail, one of the doors in the house gets knocked on. Sometimes the knocks are faint, slow and deliberate, like someone testing to see if anyone will respond. Other times, they're violent and aggressive, shaking the door so hard it sends the entire household into panic. What makes it even more unsettling is that the knocking doesn't follow a pattern. It doesn't matter who's home, what time it is, or whether the house is completely quiet. It happens anyway. And no matter how quickly they check, no one is ever there. For now, the family continues to live in fear, unsure of what's causing these relentless disturbances. And until more answers come to light, this remains one of the most unsettling cases we've seen. In this next video, a man encountered something truly terrifying while walking alone through a forest. At first, everything seemed normal, just the sound of footsteps, rustling leaves, and the quiet isolation you'd expect deep in the woods. But then, he noticed something was off. Watch closely. What many believe he captured is known in folklore as a hide-behind creature. According to paranormal lore, the hide-behind is a tall, predatory entity said to stalk people in forests and wooded areas. Its most disturbing trait is its ability to remain unseen by always staying just out of direct view, hiding behind trees, rocks, or any vertical object no matter how thin. No matter how fast a person turns around, the creature is said to move faster, positioning itself perfectly to avoid being fully seen. Witnesses often describe the feeling of being watched long before they ever notice anything on camera. A sudden heaviness in the air, the silence of wildlife, and an instinctive fear that tells you something is wrong even when you can't explain why. Whether this was a trick of the shadows, an unknown animal, or something far more sinister, one thing is certain. After an experience like this, most people say they never return to that forest again. And honestly, who would? Now in this next clip, a security guard shares footage from his workplace that left him shaken. During a routine shift, he saw something moving. Look closely at the rug.
Look at I saw that shit. I saw that shit. See, I saw that shit. And I'm like, and then it disappeared over there by the desk. And I'm like, okay. So I looked at the camera. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna calm down. So I wanted to tell the camera, y'all see that shit? Y'all saw that shit, right? I'm telling CHA, did y'all see that? Okay.
In the lower right corner, a white figure can be seen moving across the rug. What makes this incident more disturbing is that it didn't end there. In the days that followed, the guard says strange things started happening around his workspace. He arrived one morning to find a cabinet door wide open, one he's certain he had closed before leaving. On another occasion, the phone on his desk began moving on its own, sliding slightly as if someone had brushed past it. Individually, these events could be brushed off. A draft, a loose hinge, a vibrating surface. But taken together, a visible figure crossing the floor, objects being moved, doors opening, it starts to feel less random and more deliberate. Almost like whatever he saw that night didn't just pass through, it lingered. Some believe this could be the spirit of a former employee or someone connected to the building replaying familiar routines. But until more footage or updates surface, what exactly walked across that rug and why it chose that moment to reveal itself remains a mystery. In the following video, a man named David opens up about a series of disturbing experiences that have completely shaken his sense of safety inside his own home. At first, David believed the activity was centered around one specific object, a doll he owned. According to him, the presence attached to it didn't feel aggressive at first, but distressed, emotional, and almost desperate. On several occasions, David claims he heard a voice coming from the doll, repeatedly crying out the name Daniel, almost as if it were calling for someone who never came back. Some viewers believe the voice may be asking for forgiveness. Others think the spirit is reliving a traumatic moment, trapped in a loop it can't escape. One night, desperate for distraction from the growing tension in the house, David sits down to watch the sitcom Friends. But even the familiar laughter of Joey and Chandler doesn't help, because suddenly, he hears a voice. Watch closely.
Está inquieta. Suki. Saben que me duermo así por el calor que me da. ¿Escucharon? Y se me... Les tiene como miedo. Ay, no. Otra vez. Otra vez la pinche ventana. Siempre muestro para que vean que no hay nadie. Nadie, ni nada. Y está bien inquieta Suki desde hace rato. ¿Qué pasó, mamá? Pasan de las 2 de la mañana apenas. ¿Vieron cómo se abrió la puerta, no? Se tiene que abrir así. Suki. Suki. Ven, mi amor.
This time, the voice loudly shouts David's name. What makes this even more unsettling is the behavior of his cat. According to David, it's been extremely restless, freezing in place, staring into empty spaces, reacting to something David can't see. When David goes to check the window, he sees something absolutely terrifying. A creepy, unnatural-looking figure appears to be standing outside, and moments later, he hears someone knocking on his door. According to David, this isn't the first time. He claims this is the fourth face he's seen around his home. One of the most frequent and most disturbing is the face of an old man. Have a look.
Hasta 1:56 de la mañana. Me desperté porque sentí una mirada en mis sueños. Me han dicho que no me intente comunicar con ellos. Quiero preguntarle quién es. Yo me duermo con la tele encendida. Alexa, luz del cuarto blanco frío. Se escucha así por el ventilador. No hay nada.
If you watch closely, you can see something that clearly resembles an elderly man moving. David completely loses it when it appears the figure might be trying to stand up, as if it's about to come closer. Adding to the fear, many viewers reviewing the footage also notice something near the window. This detail only intensifies the situation, suggesting David may not be dealing with just one presence. But many viewers still believe everything leads back to the doll. They speculate that the doll may have acted as a doorway, allowing multiple entities or manifestations to pass through, each presenting itself in a different form. So viewers asked David to show the doll, and where he kept it. Take a look.
Bueno chicas, bueno chicos, para los que me pedían que querían ver la muñeca en los lives, acuérdense que hago lives casi todos los días, jugando videojuegos de terror y tal. Entonces, me pedían que enseñara dónde está la muñeca. Este es mi cuarto donde trabajo y todo, al igual que en el otro, que es este de aquí. Es aquí. Pasó de ser cuarto de invitados a ser el cuarto de la muñeca, ¿no? Entonces, para los que me estaban diciendo que la grabara y todo eso, aquí está. ¿Sangró más? O no sé qué carajo sea eso. Yo ya no pienso que sangre, sino miren, hasta se le escurría por los ojos y todo. Los que sepan de esto pues ya sabrán lo de cómo regresó y todo. No le hagan caso a eso. Eso lo tengo porque acuérdense que trabajo para YouTube y tal. No le hagan caso. Hace ratito grabé algo y así está. Y me dicen que lo pusieron en el Salmo 92. Ahí está. Lo leí, todo eso. Pero cada vez que se entra a este cuarto, pues sí se da como mala vibra y todo. Sí se siente un ambiente pesado. Curioso, las hojas empiezan como a doblar. Ya vieron, deberían de estar así parejitas como ahí, pero solo de ese lado como que se doblan. Entonces, pues pasó esto, de ser un cuarto de invitados, está ya una tele y todo, a ser el cuarto de la muñeca. Y a veces trabajo aquí, lo cual es más jodido porque siento como que la presión de eso, pero en fin. Para los que querían verlo, ahí está. Chido One, vámonos que aquí es pan. ¿Ven? Por eso cuando me dicen en los directos que haga tal cosa y demás, y yo siempre muestro así todo porque luego no faltan los sonsos que dicen, ay, es que hay alguien escondido. ¿Y dónde hay alguien escondido? ¿Dónde? Estos son cables que tengo aquí de mouse y de cosas que no uso. ¿Dónde? Aquí hay cajas que tienen porquerías que no usamos. Mira cómo está la Biblia. ¿Vieron cómo se movió? Estaba acá. Y para los que me dicen que la queme o que la rompa o algo así,
David reveals that he locked the doll inside the guest room, securing it in a cage. On top of that, he placed a Bible over the cage in an attempt to contain whatever might be attached to it. But while he's still explaining how he managed to subdue it, the Bible suddenly falls off. And worse, the doll has changed position. David says many people have advised him to burn the doll, others suggest burying it. But he's also been warned that trying to get rid of objects like this can make things far worse. There are countless stories of people attempting to destroy haunted dolls, only for them to reappear. So if you were in David's position, would you destroy it, or keep it locked away and hope nothing else comes through? In this next clip, a guy heads back to his studio late at night after realizing he forgot his phone charger. What should have been a quick in and out trip turned into something far more unsettling the moment he got to the entrance. Watch closely.
¿Qué les dije a la verga? Miren, voy a entrar. Miren, para que vean que no hay nadie adentro. Todo en una toma. Son con mis 20,000 vueltas, pero es una llave de seguridad. Miren. O sea, no ha salido a nadie, miren. No mames.
According to him, things in the studio haven't felt right ever since he moved an old mirror into the bathroom. Almost immediately after, he began noticing small but disturbing changes, objects not being where he left them, strange sounds echoing through the space, and an overwhelming feeling that he wasn't alone, even when the studio was empty. But the mirror isn't the only thing raising eyebrows. Viewers were quick to point out the presence of a doll inside the studio, insinuating that the mirror might not be the cause at all, but merely the trigger, disturbing something that was already there. So is the mirror the doorway? Is the doll the vessel? Or is there something else tied to the studio itself that's finally making its presence known? I'll leave this one for you to be the judge. Now in this next clip, popular Midwest ghost hunter Ian continues his solo investigation at the infamous Squirrel Cage Jail, officially known as the Pottawatomie County Jail in Iowa. This time, Ian makes his way up to the 3rd floor infirmary. And by the name alone, the infirmary of an old jail is a place no one wants to spend time in. This was where sick, injured, and dying inmates were brought, often too late for help. So when Ian steps inside, he immediately notices a drastic drop in temperature, the kind of cold that doesn't just chill the air, but sinks straight into your bones. And then, something happens. Watch closely.
and now it's completely gone. How do you explain that? No way, no way. I just heard footsteps. Hello? Who's up here? Holy crap, what is going on up here? What the heck is that? Oh, shh. What the heck is that? Oh, shh. It sounds like two people talking now. Sheriff? Is that you? Are you talking with your wife? What was that? Oh my god. Something just moved. Look. I gotta move this door. What? Oh my god. I just saw that cabinet door shut by itself.
Just seconds earlier, the cabinet was wide open, but now, right in front of him, the cabinet door closed. In locations like this, sudden temperature drops and object manipulation are often considered signs of intelligent activity. And in a place like the infirmary, where so much pain and fear once lingered, it's hard not to wonder if something here is still watching. For more haunting videos including Ian, subscribe to the channel now. The following video is about a lady named Savannah, who's now in serious need of help, because it's starting to look like she's living through a real-life paranormal phenomenon. For months, she's been dealing with things she can't explain. Footsteps pacing around her room late at night, objects disappearing and reappearing in different places, her closet door cracking open on its own, and the overwhelming sensation that someone is standing right beside her whenever she tries to fall asleep. But things escalated the night she swore she felt something sit on her chest while she slept. And what truly pushed her to her breaking point was when she heard something in the darkness, mimicking her voice, calling her cat. She screamed, thinking she was losing her mind. Then she eventually set up cameras. What you're about to see is a compilation from different nights, everything her camera captured. Watch.
What?
Some nights, small objects would shift and slide across the room as if nudged by invisible hands. Other nights, something would crawl underneath her blanket, pressing against her legs as she slept. There were moments where her cat would freeze, stare at the corner of the room, and suddenly jump as if something tried to pick it up. And on the worst nights, she'd wake up feeling a tight pressure around her foot, like something was slowly trying to pull her off the bed. She's already blessed her room, she's placed crosses around her apartment, she's tried cleansing, prayers, everything. But whatever is there doesn't seem to care. Now she's asking for help because at this point, she's genuinely afraid of what might happen next. If you have any suggestions, now's the time to share. Who knows, your comment might be the solution she's been searching for. In this next clip, a paranormal investigator decided to explore an old crematorium, and after what he experienced there, he says he won't be going back anytime soon. Watch this.
This is crazy.
Crematoriums already have a chilling history. These are places where countless families said their final goodbyes. Places where bodies are prepared, tagged, and stored before the final process. And in older crematoriums, especially those that have been shut down for years, many say the air never really loses that heaviness, as if the walls themselves remember everything they've seen. Some former workers claim that late at night, before closure, they'd hear metal trays shifting on their own, or doors to the furnace room slamming despite no draft. Others swear that once a body is cremated, the spirit doesn't always follow immediately. Sometimes it lingers, confused, or attached to the place where its physical form spent its final moments. Strange noises in an abandoned building are one thing, but inside a crematorium, with that history, this is the kind of place you enter once, and then decide it's better not to return. Now, in this next video, a mother named Christy has been dealing with something that's starting to unsettle her in ways she can't explain. For days now, she's noticed a strange pattern. She'll be talking to her little boy, something simple, everyday conversations, and suddenly he'll stop mid-sentence, freeze, and stare off toward a very specific part of the house. No blinking, no reacting. Almost like he's watching something move that she can't see. At first, she brushed it off as childish distraction, saying kids zone out all the time. But it kept happening, and each time, his eyes went to the same direction. One evening, while she was prepping dinner, he did it again. Only this time, he wouldn't stop pointing toward the dining room, repeating the same thing over and over with a strange calmness that made her skin crawl. Watch this.
Where's the ghost?
Look at it.
What do you see?
I see something in a tiny room.
What is
I
it?
see something in a tiny room.
Where is it?
You're too.
I don't see it.
I'm opening it. It's the hat. See, look, I'm opening it. Volcano. I opening this one. You is one.
What?
You is one.
There's what?
You is.
What'd you see?
Not so much side.
What?
So much side on the hat. So much side on the hat. So much side on the hat.
It's okay.
I see a vaccine pudding on a. I see a vaccine pudding in a hat.
You see what?
A vaccine pudding in a hat.
Imagine your own child saying something like that, with that kind of certainty. Christy finally took him to the dining room to figure out exactly where this thing was supposed to be. It turned out to be a picture hanging on the wall. But here's the part that's confusing her the most. That picture has been there for months. He's walked past it hundreds of times, eaten dinner right across from it, played near it. And it has never bothered him. So why now? Some people think kids are naturally more sensitive, and maybe he's suddenly picking up on something attached to the photo, an energy, a memory, or a presence that wasn't active before. Whatever the case is, something about that picture has clearly changed. And until she gets more answers, this one remains unsolved. The following video was captured outside an Argentinian hospital. A man had just finished visiting someone and was heading back to his car when he suddenly heard a loud bang. Thinking maybe someone needed help or that something had fallen, he walked toward the sound. But when he got there, the place was completely empty, so he headed back to his car. And that's when he noticed this. Watch.
Estamos en este momento en el microhospital, escuchamos un golpe y nos dimos vuelta porque dijimos, bueno, ¿quién está entrando? Cuestión de que no hay nadie atrás nuestro. Y miramos dentro del auto y dijimos, oh, pues el auto, qué mierda Lo peor de todo es que no queremos salir. O sea, no, un miedo, la puta madre. Lo peor de todo es que se mueve adentro del auto y no hay nadie. O sea, ahora vamos a ir a controlar el auto. Pero parece como si fuese un reflejo. La puta madre. No, huevo. Ya, salimos rápido para que vean que no es mentira. Mamá, la piel de gallina, hermano. Piel de gallina. Cagazo. Nadie. Nadie. Un montón. Es un montón. Mierda. Y encima nos mira la puta que te parió. No, chabón. No. Desapareció. La concha.
The moment he saw what was sitting in the back seat, you can tell his entire body reacted. When he lifted his arm to the camera, you could literally count each hair standing straight up. That's not something you fake, that's a full body fear response. But what really got people talking were the details, especially the movement of the face. Whatever was in that car wasn't a reflection, and it definitely wasn't a person hiding inside, because he didn't even take the camera off the car until he reached for the door. And when the head suddenly ducked behind the driver's seat, yeah, reflections don't do that. Now, here's where this gets even more unsettling. This didn't happen in just any location. It happened right outside a hospital, a place where people pass on, where emotions run heavy, where many believe spirits linger the longest before moving on. So the real question is, what exactly entered that car? And why did it wait until he was alone? This one remains a mystery. Now, in this next clip, a lady's dog has been acting out ever since she got a new truck. At first, she thought it was nothing. Maybe he just wasn't familiar with the sound or smell. But the more she paid attention, the more unsettling things became. Have a look.
What is it? What is it? But there's nothing over here.
After watching this clip, some people said it could be the tires. Maybe the rubber was warm, maybe the scent was strange to him. But then a different wave of comments rolled in, questions that made the whole situation feel a lot darker. People started asking whether the truck was actually new, if she knew anything about the previous owners, or if the truck had ever been involved in an accident, because dogs don't usually whine like that unless they're reacting to something they don't understand, or something we can't see. She eventually came forward with an update that surprised everyone. The truck is brand new, and she's already checked underneath, inside, and around the engine for any animals or signs of something stuck. Yet, Titus still behaves like this. She also revealed that ever since she brought the truck home, Titus has never agreed to get inside, not even once, and honestly, the comments weren't helping either. People began warning her that dogs can sense what humans can't, and that her dog might be reacting to a dangerous spirit attached to the vehicle. Some even went as far as saying that if she doesn't get it blessed, she could end up in an accident. One morning, Titus wanted to check the garage again, barking and whining in a way she'd never seen before, so she followed him, camera in hand, and here's what she caught. At this point, she has no idea what she's dealing with anymore. And honestly, none of the explanations so far feel comforting. So what do you think? Is Titus reacting to the smell of the tires? Is there a spirit attached to the truck? Or is there something else we're missing? Something that ties all these events together? Now, this next video captures something most people fear more than any regular haunting: a mimic. Mimics are the type of entities people describe as intelligent, calculating, and frighteningly good at imitating the voices of people you know and trust, usually to lure you closer or get you to respond. One afternoon, a lady was home completely alone when she suddenly heard this coming from inside her house. Watch.
Are you there, honey? Open the door for mommy. Bella. Hello. Bella.
The moment people heard that voice, the comment section exploded. Not because of the sound itself, but because of the way she reacted. She didn't panic, she didn't call out, she didn't ask who's there. She stayed absolutely silent. And for good reason. Because when it comes to mimics, the number one rule everyone repeats is, do not respond. Responding means you're already playing its game. So the fact that she stayed completely quiet is what everyone agrees might have kept this from going much further. Now, in this next clip, the popular Midwest ghost hunter Ian continues his exploration at Bonanzaville, an open-air museum made up of old, fully preserved historic buildings from different eras of North Dakota. In the last video we posted, Ian entered the Telephone Museum, but this time he went to the Brass Rail Saloon in the Page Hotel, said to be one of the most active buildings on the entire property. Built in 1889, this place used to be a bustling stop for travelers. Food, liquor, music, rooms upstairs, the whole deal. But today, it's known for something else entirely. Voices that shouldn't exist, footsteps pacing empty rooms, and unexplained noises that seem to follow anyone who dares explore the second floor alone. Watch this.
Could you do that again? If there's anyone in here, I invite you to come sit with me. I just want to get to know some of the people that are here. I hear that there's a lot of spirits in this building. Could you walk up to this table and sit down with me? I mean, I didn't bring any cards or anything, but I mean, if you've got some, I don't know if you can in the afterlife, but feel free to sit on this table here. Whoa. I just heard that chair move. Holy moly.
Unfortunately, he had his infrared light pointing directly at the camera, making the chair in front of him impossible to see. But the moment he stepped out of that room, something else happened.
Is there anybody in here? Whoa. That came from in there. I think I might have heard somebody in here. Is there anyone in here? Whoa! Oh my God! It's okay. It's okay. I'm not gonna run. Did you just tap on that bed? Oh my God. Oh, Jesus. That scared the living daylights out of me. Holy moly. Dude, that was a freaking voice. I heard it so clear on this voice recorder. Oh, it was a female. It was a female voice.
Ian was almost convinced there had to be someone else inside the building with him, but the footage says it all. He was completely alone. So the question is, who or what answered Ian that night? And why is her voice still echoing through a building that hasn't hosted a living guest in over a century? For more haunting videos including Ian, subscribe to the channel now. The following clip was recorded by a group of explorers who decided to enter an abandoned building surrounded by disturbing rumors. Locals claim that people go in and come out completely shaken, some reporting sudden dizziness, intense pressure in their chest, difficulty breathing, and an overwhelming feeling that they weren't welcome there. Others say electronics malfunction, footsteps echo through empty hallways, and objects seem to move on their own. The explorers went in hoping to communicate with whatever might be causing these experiences, but instead of answers, they encountered something that seemed to confirm every story they'd heard. Watch this.
Görüntü gidiyor, var bir şey. Var bir şey var. Görüntü gidiyor. Tamam, böyle dikkat. Biliyorum bir şey var orada. Kafamıza gelecekti Allah aşkına. Dokundu.
At one point, an axe suddenly fell, narrowly missing them. They were incredibly lucky it didn't land on anyone. Incidents like this raise unsettling questions about the kind of presence that could exist in places like this. Some theories suggest these spirits lash out when they feel threatened, disturbed, or when their space is invaded, especially in places tied to trauma, violence, or abandonment. Whatever was inside that building didn't seem interested in communicating. It seemed angry, and that makes this encounter far more dangerous than a typical paranormal investigation. Now, in this next clip, a family has been hearing strange noises coming from their basement. At first, they didn't think much of it since the sounds were faint, irregular, and easy to dismiss, the kind of thing you blame on the house settling or your imagination filling in the gaps. But over the next few weeks, everything changed. The noises started happening more often, they grew louder, and eventually impossible to ignore. Then, one night, while the family was asleep, a sudden, heavy noise from the basement jolted them awake. Instead of staying put, the husband decided to move closer to investigate, and that decision alone sent chills through viewers. Watch closely.
Hello? Oh my god!
After the footage surfaced, opinions were split. Some viewers insist it has to be an animal, something trapped or moving around below. But others aren't convinced. They point out that the footsteps sound human. So if it isn't an animal and it isn't just the house settling, then whatever made that noise was already inside the home, waiting in the darkest part of it. But I'll leave you to be the judge of this one. On the 14th of February, 2014, a man walks into a shop like any other day. Nothing about the moment seems unusual, but what no one inside the store realizes is that something else was inside the shop. Watch closely.
Look right here. Look right here. Right here. Look. Look, watch. What is that? What is that? And it's just gone, bruh. Look at this. It's there, and now it's not. It's there, and now it's not, bruh. What is that? Bruh. What is that? What is that? And then it's just gone.
The strange figure appears and disappears in a blink, so fast that the man didn't even sense that something was there. If it wasn't for the security camera, this moment would have passed unnoticed forever. Incidents like this raise an unsettling thought. How many things move through our world without us ever knowing? How many figures slip in and out of reality just beyond our perception? Too quick, too subtle, or too unexpected for the human mind to register. And even when footage like this does surface, many people still refuse to believe it. Some call it a glitch, others say it's a shadow, a reflection, or a trick of the camera. So what do you think? Was this an anomaly or a rare glimpse into something that's always around us, quietly passing through, unseen? In this next video, a woman captured a terrifying figure inside her own home. According to her, it's late at night, and she's replaying voice messages on her phone when an overwhelming feeling hits her, the unmistakable sense that someone is staring at her, not just a thought, not imagination, that deep instinctive awareness you get when eyes are fixed on you. Trusting that feeling, she lifts her phone toward the doorway. This is what she captures. A dark figure appears, peeking from behind the door, its shape just clear enough to suggest a face watching her. What makes this even more unsettling is that this wasn't the first warning sign. Before this moment, she says she'd been experiencing subtle things around the house, doors left slightly open when she was sure she closed them, the sound of quiet movement at night, and that recurring sensation of being watched when no one else was home. Small things she brushed off at first. Until this. Many people say humans are wired to sense when they're being observed, even without seeing it. And moments like this make you wonder how often that instinct is right. Until she shares more updates, whatever was standing in that doorway and why it was watching her remains completely unsolved. Now, in this next clip, a couple shares footage from what was supposed to be a simple cave exploration somewhere in the UK. Nothing paranormal, no ghost hunting, just curiosity and a camera rolling. But like many explorers later admit, the strangest moments aren't always noticed in real time. They're discovered after, while reviewing the footage. Watch and listen closely.
I don't blame them. Imagine how many people you can fit in here.
Because you go in here, look.
How am I going to fit through there? What? Seen all the spiders?
Yeah, have you seen them?
During the exploration, his partner becomes overwhelmed by spiders and quickly exits the cave, clearly shaken. He laughs it off at first, still filming, thinking the danger is gone, but seconds later, his mood changes. He suddenly freezes, then jumps back, reacting to the feeling that something is moving toward him from deeper inside the cave. At the time, he didn't hear anything clearly. It's only after rewatching the footage that they notice the sound at the very end of the video. Some viewers suggest it could have been an animal, even comparing it to a bear-like snarl, possibly disturbed by their presence. But others point out that caves are isolated, ancient, largely untouched, and act as natural amplifiers for phenomena we don't fully understand. In this next video, a family is together, laughing, catching up, and enjoying a quiet moment until something happens. Watch closely. Out of nowhere, the table shifts and the reaction is instant. Everyone runs. Some viewers believe this could be a prank, suggesting someone nearby might have been under the table or pulled the table. But according to locals, this area already has a reputation. Families in the vicinity have complained for years about objects moving on their own, furniture shifting slightly when no one is touching it, and sudden disturbances that happen without warning. That's what makes this moment harder to brush off. When objects move in shared spaces like this, especially during calm moments, many believe it's often the first sign something is trying to make itself known. Whether this was human interference or something far more unsettling, one thing is clear. The moment whatever happened made itself known, no one wanted to stay around long enough to find out what caused it. So what do you think happened here? Speaking of objects moving, the family in this next clip has been struggling with something they can't seem to explain. They'll leave items in one place, chairs pushed under the table, doors fully shut, small objects carefully set down, only to come back later and find everything shifted, rearranged, or completely out of place. At first, they brushed it off as forgetfulness, thinking maybe someone else moved it, or they just remembered wrong, but the patterns kept repeating. Eventually, they decided to document everything. What you're about to see is a compilation of the activity they managed to catch on camera. Watch closely.
¡Bruno! Se movió la silla.
¿Real?
Sí.
Corre.
Tipo, es de arquitecta.
Corre.
¡Te va!
To some viewers, this points to something trying to interact with the physical space, poltergeist-like behavior that focuses more on movement than appearances. Others believe it could be something residual, replaying energy over and over in the same areas of the house. They've been advised to send the footage to a priest, but until that happens, speculation continues. But what do you think? Is something attached to the house, or something dangerous followed them home? I'd love to know what you think about this kind of activity. Now, in this next clip, popular Midwest ghost hunter Ian continues his investigation inside the historic Mabel Tainter Memorial Theater. This time, he heads back up to the top floor, returning to the main theater area to quietly film and listen for anything out of place. Watch closely.
It's like there's somebody up there. What the hell was that? Oh, shh, 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 shh. Oh my god, guys, it literally sounds like she's coming down these stairs. I smell perfume. What the heck? I smell perfume. And it's starting to feel colder in here too. Ma'am, you don't have to be shy. Feel free to come down and talk to me. Madam, what's your name? Oh my god! I heard that! That was a lady's voice! Thank you, Bam. I heard you loud and clear.
As Ian stands alone in the creepy space, he suddenly notices a strong perfume smell beginning to fill the air. What's unsettling is that the scent doesn't fade. It grows stronger, almost as if someone is moving closer to him. Paranormal investigators often associate sudden smells, especially perfume, with spirit presence, particularly when there's no logical source nearby. Moments later, this happened.
Here. Hello? Oh, holy shit! Oh my god! Dude! I just fucking saw her right there! It looked like a woman in a dress. She walked into the hallway. I gotta follow her. She went down this way. Oh my god. Every hair on my body is standing on end. Where'd you go? I saw you go this way. I feel like I heard her say Mabel. It sounded like an M. Now that I think about it, that voice from earlier, it sounded like Mabel. I'm smelling that perfume smell again. Holy shit! Holy shit! No freaking way! Look at that! That thing just came undone!
This is where things take an even stranger turn. Ian believes he may have caught sight of a figure, possibly the infamous woman in white, briefly peeking out from behind the curtain. The combination of the intensifying perfume and the movement near the stage is enough to raise serious questions about what or who might still be lingering inside the theater. So what do you think? Lingering energy, a known spirit, or something else entirely? For more haunting videos including Ian, subscribe to the channel now. The following video was captured by a group of ghost hunters who decided to explore an abandoned house after several reports suggested something dark was attached to the property. From the moment they stepped inside, they described the atmosphere as heavy, tense, and almost hostile. The kind of place where silence doesn't feel empty, but watchful. Believing the presence to be malevolent, they began praying, hoping to protect themselves and possibly force whatever was there to reveal itself. But according to many paranormal beliefs, prayer doesn't always bring peace. Some say it agitates negative entities, almost like shining a light on something that wants to stay hidden. Watch what happens next.
Bun.
Ești sigur?
Da. Hai, uite acum zic. Ia. Cred în bunul Dumnezeu, Tatăl Altotțitorul, Făcătorul cerului și al pământului.
Oprește-te, oprește! Băi, Alin, uite alea cum fac bilile toate trei.
Știu unde am rămas.
Ea nu va pleca.
Da, știu când va pleca. Tatăl Altotțitorului, Făcătorul cerului și al pământului, care pretutindenea ești și pe toate le împlinești, vistierul bunătăților și dătătorule de viață, vino și ne slăzășluiește întru noi și ne cu toată închinăciunea. Băi, nebunilor, băi!
Fai de capul meu!
Ce s-o spart? Nu s-o spart nimic. Cum să spargă ceva?
Frate, nimic nu.
Doamne ferește. Dar ce să spargă?
Hai de capul meu!
Dar nu se vede.
Mi-e frică, nu mai fă, frate, că murim!
Păi da, bine că s-o auzi spart, dar nu-i spart nimic. Deci vă asigur eu că nu-i spart nimic. Ce să fie spart?
Da, o ardă aici, că mâine pe noi, jali, vei.
Viewers believe this reaction suggests the presence felt threatened, not comforted by the prayers. Others argue that prayer can act as a form of confrontation, drawing attention from entities that feed on fear or resistance. Whatever the case, the timing is hard to ignore. But until we get more updates about this house, this remains unsolved. Now, in the following videos, a man and his family are convinced they're living with a ghost. In fact, they've gone as far as giving it a name, Ghost Malone, a playful nod to Post Malone, because according to them, the presence feels calm, relaxed, and non-threatening. They say things move around their house almost every night, especially toys, but insist it has never tried to hurt them. Still, many viewers can't help but ask the same question. How long does a spirit stay harmless? Take a look at what a typical night in their home looks like.
It's 3:30 in the morning. I swear on my life. For freaking toy cars. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. No. No, sir. No, ma'am. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know whether to wake Elizabeth or somebody call Justin Nunley or an exorcist. I don't know. I mean, I'm not scared, but I'd be lying if I said I wasn't shaking. So I'm just gonna leave it there till the morning for Elizabeth to come play with it. And it's not electronical, y'all. There's no damn motor in that thing. I feel so weird and out of place right now. I don't know if it's still there. To be truthful, I'm thinking about just leaving Elizabeth in Revelation and going somewhere for the night. I don't know what to do. Let's check on her. You still there? Pirates of the Caribbean's getting good. I'm not scared. I'm just kind of freaked out because, like, it's friendly. Hasn't thrown it.
What immediately stands out is the toy car. It has no batteries, no electrical components, and yet it moves on its own. Some viewers tried to brush it off as coincidence, uneven flooring, or leftover momentum. But those explanations quickly fall apart when you realize this isn't a one-time event, and it's not just one toy. Similar things have happened repeatedly, and after seeing this clip, many people weren't convinced that whatever was in the house was truly harmless. Some believe genuinely good spirits are rare, and when they do exist, they don't usually interact directly with the living. Concerned viewers suggested the father try certain cleansing methods to see how the presence would react, a way to test whether the entity was truly peaceful or simply pretending. So the next morning, he followed some of those suggestions. Watch what happened.
I actually fell asleep, and this is what I woke up to. Elizabeth. Baby. Hey.
Goodbye.
Okay, no, for real, like, so what are we doing? Oh. Okay. Are you... Somebody said salt. Hold on.
I don't know if you're supposed to draw a circle around it.
Well, it's a half circle, but I don't think you're supposed to do anything else. I don't know. Y'all got suggestions, let me know.
Instead of focusing on the fact that the holy water, salt, and prayers didn't seem to drive anything away, viewers noticed something far more disturbing. If you look closely at the doorway, you can see what appears to be a small, childlike figure standing completely still. That single detail sent chills through the comment section, but that raised another unsettling question. Why did the cleansing attempt seem to have little to no effect? Well, things escalated beyond toys. Watch this.
Are you there? Yeah, I thought so. Okay. Well, that's one of the things that I've discovered.
Whenever the house goes quiet, all he has to do is ask, "Are you there?" And something moves in response. At that point, many viewers said it could no longer be coincidence. But what troubled people even more was the interaction itself. A lot of paranormal believers warn that acknowledging a spirit gives it energy. Others say responding invites it closer, strengthens its presence, or even allows attachment. Despite all of that, the family continues living as normal, still convinced it isn't dangerous. One night, they didn't only check if it was there, they tried to communicate with it. Watch closely.
So we are all sitting here, enjoying our Taco Bell, right? And Ghost Malone was over there shaking the door a second ago. Ghost Malone, if you are still around, do something.
It was a sign.
Oh, okay. Okay. Nonchalant. Alright, so ironically, I'm watching Ghostbusters, right? Ghost Malone, Ghosty. Yo. Are you kidding? Alright, so I've been asking Ghost Malone some questions. Okay, so 1 time if you're there, 2 times, or I guess no times if you're not. Definitely there, okay. Are you friendly? Okay, okay. Do you like Ghostbusters? No? Okay, do you like movies? Okay, okay. Alright, just not Ghostbusters, I guess it's insulting. Are you here to cause harm? Okay. Okay. Man, I wish I knew Morse code. We'd try that. Are you an older spirit? Okay, but not a bad spirit. Okay. Is there more than one of you? Okay.
Many believe dark entities don't reveal their true nature immediately. Instead, they appear calm, friendly, even playful, a tactic often compared to the Annabelle doll, which was first believed to be harmless before far darker activity followed. Because of this, viewers are increasingly convinced that whatever this entity is, it may be growing stronger, not kinder. People urge the family to stop interacting, cleanse the home thoroughly, and protect themselves before things escalated further. But none of the things happening bothers them. Take a look.
So, a couple weird things have happened tonight. Like my mom's painting over there has moved. Ghosty. Ghost Malone. You there? Don't judge the trash. It's trash day. Ghosty. Okay. Maxie, what was that? Huh? So we're sitting here. Revelation here, is it?
Hi, Maxie.
It should also be noted that we've had several offers from paranormal people to come here and whatnot. We're down, but there's been a few of them that are private profiles, minus the big ones you guys have suggested. Nobody's reached out, but I don't know. I might take offers for people to just come stay the night so you can see whether it's real or not for yourself. I don't know. But yeah, I am gonna take a list of questions. I've been writing down in the comments all the questions you guys have for Ghost Malone. And then we're going to do the Stranger Things light or dog button things to see if that does anything.
This time, even the dog reacts. As the playpen moves, the dog retreats into its cage, a response many believe animals only show when they sense something threatening. According to viewers, a presence strong enough to move objects, frighten a dog, and respond intelligently isn't something to take lightly. Some believe this entity was never harmless, just patient. But until the family shares more updates, all anyone can do is hope the situation doesn't turn dangerous. Now, in this next video, a guy who goes by the username Mosh moved to Appalachia, and according to him, he hasn't had a single peaceful moment since. Appalachia is one of those places people constantly warn you about. Dense forests, winding back roads, long stretches with no cell service, and generations of folklore that all seem to agree on one thing. If something calls out to you out there, you don't answer. Many believe the land itself holds onto things that don't like being disturbed. Mosh has been documenting his experiences both inside his home and outside, and in several of his earlier videos, paranormal investigators and longtime viewers suggested he might be dealing with what are often called jokester spirits, entities that don't immediately harm you, but thrive on fear, confusion, and reaction. They mimic sounds, footsteps, and voices just enough to make you question your sanity. One night, while walking, Mosh suddenly got the overwhelming feeling that something was following him. Not just a sound, but a presence, staying just out of sight. Trusting his instincts, he checked the camera he installed in the house and saw this. Watch. After reviewing the footage, many viewers say this explains a lot. The unexplained footsteps, the whispers he's heard when no one is around, and that constant sense of being watched. Some believe whatever this is has been testing boundaries, slowly revealing itself once it realized Mosh was paying attention. Others think it's feeding off his fear, waiting for the moment he reacts or responds. So, what do you see in this video? And more importantly, what do you think has been following him this whole time? The following video is shared by a man who had previously documented how everything in his apartment changed the moment he brought home a set of old toys. Almost immediately, the space felt different. Knocking sounds began echoing through the walls, objects shifted on their own, and at times the presence felt so overwhelming that he would lock himself in another room out of fear. But this next video unsettles viewers for a different reason. This time, none of the dolls or toys are visible anywhere in the apartment, and yet, the activity continues. Watch closely.
Son las 2 de la mañana, se están escuchando ruidos en la sala. Está moviendo la silla, raza. La madre. Escucho algo acá, raza. Tomaron el desodorante. ¿Qué estará pasando, anda? Madre.
Whatever is disturbing this apartment hasn't left with the objects themselves. Many believe spirits don't always stay attached to the item that brought them in. Some think the toys may have acted as a doorway, something that allowed an entity to anchor itself to the space rather than the objects. Others argue this could be residual energy, replaying moments of disturbance long after the source is removed. But there's also a darker theory, that removing the items only angered whatever was invited in. But what do you think? Now in this next clip, the popular Midwest ghost hunter Ian investigates the Mabel Tainter Memorial Theater, a location widely considered one of the most haunted places in Wisconsin. The theater was commissioned in 1889 by Captain Andrew Tainter and his wife Bertha in honor of their late daughter Mabel Tainter, who tragically died at just 19 years old. In life, Mabel was deeply passionate about music and the arts, and because of that, no expense was spared in the theater's design. From its grand architecture to its detailed interior, the building was meant to preserve her spirit and legacy. While exploring the theater late at night, Ian begins taking photographs inside the theater room when he suddenly hears a loud bang echo through the building. Tracing the noise, Ian follows it to an office once used by Reverend Henry Maxon. Watch closely.
That's his old chalkboard right there. And that is his handwriting. They've kept that preserved. That must have been from his last lecture, before dying. Father, if you are indeed in here, could you tap on your chalkboard? Make a tapping sound like you're writing on it. I would be amazed if you did that. What the? That sounded like paper being moved. It was on this desk. Like, whoa, you see that? Dude! Look at that! That has to be it. Look at that, it's literally hanging off of the table.
Maxon wasn't just any figure connected to this place. He was the Unitarian pastor who originally convinced Andrew and Bertha Tainter to build the memorial for Mabel. When the building officially opened in 1890, it served not only as a theater, but also as a community center and the permanent home of the Unitarian Society of Menomonee. Maxon himself gave the presentation address at the building's dedication, and for years, Sunday services were held directly on the theater's stage, with Maxon preaching to the congregation. Before leaving the office, Ian decides to set his camera down, leaving it recording as he steps away. What happens next is unsettling. Did Ian manage to capture the ghost of Reverend Henry Maxton still sitting at his desk, tied to the theater he once served? For more haunting videos including Ian, subscribe to the channel now. This next clip is an update from the family that once opened their door after weeks of strange knocking. The same family whose life changed from odd disturbances to full-blown haunting. Now, just when they thought things might calm down, the activity has escalated, and it's getting worse, especially around the kitchen. Watch.
Padre Santo. Padre nuestro que estás en el cielo, santificado sea tu nombre. Venga a nosotros tu reino. Hágase tu voluntad así en la tierra como en el cielo.
This isn't the soft, tentative knocking of before. This is aggressive, hard, demanding. It rattles the door's frame. It shakes the house. It doesn't stop after one or two knocks. It repeats, builds, as though whatever's on the other side has run out of patience and is desperate to get in. That alone raises a chilling question. They once opened the door, and after that, chaos followed. So why is there knocking again? Some believe when a spirit becomes comfortable with a house, it doesn't stay alone. It invites others. And those other presences tend to be far less patient, far more dangerous. With this kind of knocking, the thing behind the door could be far worse than what first showed up. Opening it may no longer just let in a curious specter, but something malevolent, something hungry. As desperate as this family must be, at this point, opening the door isn't an option. Not until they have a plan or someone powerful enough to handle what might come through. If you were them, what would you do now? Change house? Set up protection? Call professionals? Whatever their next move is, one thing is certain. What's behind that door may be beyond anything they've seen before, and until we get more footage, more answers, or some clarity, this remains a mystery. This next clip is also an update from a previous investigation where a team of ghost hunters explored an old property that once belonged to an elderly couple who passed away, leaving the home abandoned for years. For days they've been at the house, documenting everything from soft knocks echoing through the hallway to objects subtly shifting whenever no one was looking. At one point, if they reached out to pick something up, no matter whether it was a notebook, a candle, or even a cup, the table would suddenly start vibrating violently until they dropped the item, almost like the spirit was warning them, "Don't touch my things." Even then, the investigators didn't leave. They felt strongly that whatever was there wasn't aggressive, only protective. So they tried something different, something that would confirm whether a spirit was truly responding to them. Watch this.
Punem aici în geam și pe ăsta?
Da, nu știu, punem... Da, punem jos acolo.
Aici în casă?
Mai aici, în spate, la tablou. Au pisare asta, nu știu, pe ceva.
Așa?
Da, nu contează.
Dar ce vrei să fac?
Hai să vezi acum șmecherii.
Explică-mi și mie.
Deci îl lăsăm pe Nea Gheorghe aici, da? Bun. Acum. Închidem balconul. Eu am prins care-i faza, ca să știți.
Lasă-mă și mergem, poate murim noi, ca măcar...
Mult, dar parcă n-ai mai murit.
Am murit, dar uite mai am.
Oricare spirit te află aici, oricare entitate, oricare demon, oricare strigoi, prin puterea primordială, îți ordon să miști tabloul ăsta sau să-l dai jos sau...
Eu am murit.
Da? Deci ceva se lega. Nu mă sperii, nu mă rămân surprins. Fiindcă știam, eram sigur, 90% eram sigur că o să se întâmple chestia asta.
Adică când ne amândoi în balcon faci așa?
Da, fii atent. Păi așa că-l iau. Păi așa, mă. Am luat pe Nea Gheorghe și lăsăm mai...
Și acum ce se întâmplă? Din timp murim?
Băi, oricare spirit te afla aici, oricare entitate, oricare demon, oricare suflet neliniștit, prin puterea primordială îți ordon să miști. Du-te, fă cu meciul tău, tragă meciul tău, l-o da jos să moară familia mea, l-o dau jos.
That moment was all the proof they needed, and after that, the house changed. The activity grew stronger. Watch.
Ia-l repede, ia-l.
O căzut singur. O căzut singur. Ai de pula mea. De pula mea.
Doamne, mi-am făcut cruci. Credeți-mă pe bunic, mi-am făcut cruci.
Doamne, credeți-mă, pentru mâine asta că nu știu.
E gata-i.
Îl ard în tămâini.
E gata-i, nu mai, e gata-i.
Îl ard în tămâini.
O dispărut, mâncați-l. Tu, măi, Nea Gheorghe, măi.
Aschi-dau acum, stai așa.
Oricare spirit te află aici, îți ordon să faci ceea ce faci, să faci în fața camerei. Poza e jos, mă, acolo, rămas jos.
What came next sparked a completely different debate among viewers. Have a look.
Bun, Nea Gheorghe, dacă tot ești acolo lângă păpușa aia, poți un pic să o miști sau să o faci să meargă? Deci dacă se mișcă păpușa, am plecat acasă, vă zic de pe acum. Băga mea și pula în dracu să-mi bag. Gata, îmi bag pula în casa asta. Gata, fraților, v-am ban în casa asta. Ieși afară, băga mea și pula, nică ne omoară.
The discovery of those dolls shifted the entire conversation. Many began questioning whether the spirit they'd been communicating with was truly tied to the house, or tied to the dolls themselves. In the paranormal world, dolls are known to hold attachments. Spirits sometimes cling to them, reside in them, or even use them as vessels when they can't anchor themselves anywhere else. So now, there were two theories. Either the spirit belonged to someone who once lived in the home, or the previous owners unknowingly brought home a doll that already carried an attachment. After seeing those dolls move the way they did, the team didn't need any more convincing. They packed up their equipment, left the property immediately, and made it very clear they had no intention of spending another night inside that house. Now in this next video, a guy named Kyle, who you might remember from several of our previous videos, is still dealing with the same thing that's been tormenting him for months. Knocking sounds that seem to move from room to room, always following him, always getting louder. But this time, he was finally able to trace one of those knocks directly to the basement, and he discovered something that left him more confused than ever. Take a look.
Gosh dang it, I'm hearing that knocking sound again. There it is. Where is it coming from? Right there, right there. It's coming from this door. That's where it's been coming from. Somebody's knocking on that, or something is knocking on this freaking door. But there's nobody there, obviously. Well, at least I now know where it's coming from.
Finding no one at the door, no footsteps, not even a shadow fleeing the scene, left him with only one conclusion. Whatever is knocking isn't human. And honestly, after everything Kyle has been through in that house, this shouldn't even be surprising anymore. Because remember, this is the same guy who woke up one night and caught a dark figure standing frozen inside his crawl space, unmoving, just staring straight ahead as if it had been waiting for him. The same guy who's heard children laughing in the middle of the night, even though he has no kids, seen things in his attic shift around on their own, and has documented footsteps pacing inside the walls, things falling in the garage, small objects getting pushed across the floor, and the worst one yet, his home camera once caught a figure standing quietly beside his bed while he slept, vanishing just seconds before he woke up. All these incidents, from the crawl space, to the attic, to the garage, to his bedroom, and now the basement, connect in one disturbing pattern. Whatever is in this house moves freely, watches him, and makes itself known whenever it wants to. So until Kyle drops more updates, this remains one of the hardest cases to decode. In the following video, a guy and his partner have been dealing with something extremely unsettling inside their home. For days now, they've been coming back from work to find their living room and kitchen completely out of place. Pillows on the floor, cabinets half open, small items thrown across the room, and once, an entire stack of folded laundry scattered across the hallway as if someone walked through it intentionally. One of them insisted it had to be the cat, but the other argued that it didn't make sense. The cat isn't strong enough to knock over half the things they found on the ground. So, to settle the argument once and for all, they installed cameras. Here's what the camera caught. This clearly shows the cat is innocent, but it also confirms something else entirely. The couple now has another presence in the house, one they never invited and one they don't understand. And after seeing that footage, their minds immediately shifted from who did this to what exactly are we living with and how dangerous can it be? So look closely at the clips to see if you can piece things together. Watch. After this second clip, people in the comments began forming their own theories. Many said the movement feels exactly like a child spirit, but it didn't only happen during the day. Watch this. Now, how do you explain a chair rocking on its own in the middle of the night, almost as if someone was sitting in it and pushing off the ground with their feet? That detail alone shifted the conversation. Some viewers pointed out that this kind of night activity usually means the spirit is fully comfortable, too comfortable. Others believe the chair movement ties directly to the mess during the day, suggesting the same presence is active around the clock. If it really is a child spirit, it might not even realize it's causing fear, just doing what kids do, playing, exploring, touching things that don't belong to them. But until more updates are shared, and until the couple figures out exactly what kind of presence they're dealing with, this case remains completely unsolved. Now, this next video captures something that genuinely shook a lot of viewers, because it happened while Rebecca was homeschooling her kids. Watch.
2 and 0. So it's asking you which intervals in which the y is increasing. Select all and apply. Okay, so now we have it. So we have here to here. So the first one, -6, okay? And then we have, then it goes down, 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 up, and up. Okay, so we have -6 and 0.
At first glance, your mind wants to go with the simplest explanation, that the tree was already hanging by a thread. But according to Rebecca, the tree was still firmly attached to its base. No visible damage, no rot, nothing that looked like it was about to collapse. And then people who slowed the footage down began noticing something else. Something that made the entire situation feel way less natural. Several viewers claimed they saw a figure moving behind the tree just seconds before it began shaking on its own. So was it gravity, a rare coincidence, or something attempting to reveal itself through the only object it could manipulate? You decide. In this next clip, the popular Midwest ghost hunter Ian visited Bonanzaville, an open-air museum filled with preserved historic structures from different eras of North Dakota. There's the old haunted tavern where staff have reported glasses clinking on their own, the mansion's said to echo footsteps long after closing, and even a small church where a shadowy figure is often seen slipping between the pews. And of course, Ian decided to walk through all of it completely alone. He started his investigation inside the old train shed, an authentic 1930s passenger coach where visitors have sworn they've seen a phantom conductor pacing the aisle. But for Ian, that night, the train shed was calm. Where things shifted was the next building he stepped into, the telephone museum. Watch.
These phones are dead. They're not even on. I'm not even sure if you'd even be able to make calls with it right now. Could you move this? The rotary dial? Whoa, what the? Dude, that was a freaking straight up phone ringing in that room. Holy crap, that scared me. Did you just make one of the phones ring in that room? That was coming from that room over there. Oh god. Well, I suppose let's go answer.
This museum has a long, unsettling history. Staff say the phones inside often ring on their own, connecting to other historical buildings across the property. But whenever someone picks up, it's only dead air. Others have reported seeing a ghostly woman drift through the aisles, appearing and disappearing between the old switchboards. So Ian, being Ian, decided to answer one of the ringing phones himself. Watch what happened.
Hello? Could you speak through this phone? Who called that phone earlier? Put my voice recorder up to it.
A faint whisper came through his recorder, and Ian couldn't tell whether the voice came through the phone or from somewhere else inside the room. Listen again. Some say the voice sounds like it's trying to speak directly to him. Others think it's the woman people claim to see in the building, but whether it's tied to the museum, the phones, or something else entirely, one thing is clear. Whatever haunts that building knew he was there. For more haunting videos including Ian, subscribe to the channel now. The following clip is about Rosanna, whose situation has become one of the longest running and most unsettling cases we've ever covered. She's tried everything, spoken to multiple paranormal experts, cleansed the house more times than she can count, switched rooms, switched routines, but instead of getting better, things have only escalated. Early one morning, Rosanna suddenly woke up after hearing the sound of a toy she was absolutely sure no longer worked. Confused, she grabbed her phone and went to check. Watch.
J'en ai marre. Ah, ok. Alors le choupi, il est tout en haut de l'étagère là-bas. Et il ne marche plus. Voilà. Classique. Regarde, il est à 0. Je suis là. Coucou, je suis là. Il marchait plus. Coucou, je suis là. Coucou, je suis là. Coucou, je suis là. Super, j'ai pas. Coucou, je suis là. Coucou, tais-toi. Tais-toi. J'ai entendu. Je suis pas folle. J'ai entendu.
At the time she was filming, she didn't see the shadow moving right in front of her. She only noticed it later when viewers pointed it out. And what made this moment even stranger is that the toy's batteries had been dead for months. So the fact that it suddenly switched on by itself, paired with that dark shifting shadow and then a faint voice saying hello from inside the bathroom, made everything feel a lot more intentional, almost like something inside that house was trying to get her attention. Viewers also pointed out something else. The bathroom door was open, and in a surprising number of paranormal cases, bathrooms are believed to be hotspots for activity. Some investigators say it's because bathrooms have mirrors, objects often tied to spiritual gateways. Others say it's the constant flow of water, since running water is believed in some traditions to attract or amplify energy. And a few believe it's simply because bathrooms are small, enclosed spaces where shadows and movements are easier to hide, and easier to miss. For Rosanna, it all adds up to one terrifying thought. Whatever is in her home is getting bolder. She's still searching for real help, especially because she wants to reunite with her kids, but she's terrified of exposing them to whatever this is. And until someone can confidently tell her exactly what she's dealing with, Rosanna remains stuck in a terrifying uncertainty, and this case remains completely unresolved. Now, in the following clip, a woman living deep in the Appalachian Mountains was recording a song when she suddenly felt like someone was watching her. She started hearing footsteps, soft, slow, almost pacing, and faint whispers she couldn't make out. Watch and listen closely.
Just had a whole chill go down my spine like I'm being watched. I feel really disoriented right now. I don't know which way I came in. I feel like someone's stalking me. Like I keep hearing people talking, but no one's here. See? Just me. I feel like you guys aren't my only audience.
A lot of viewers replayed that moment over and over, and some swear they heard a voice whisper, "Who are you?" right before the clip ended. It sounded low, masculine, almost like someone was standing just out of frame. And the moment her entire body went cold, she knew she had to leave immediately. But this wasn't a one-off moment. It happened again. This time, she was in her backyard practicing another song when something else happened. Watch this.
I'm in my backyard, so I can't. Imagine anything would go wrong. Worst comes to worst, I'll run inside. So if someone or something is here, then it followed me home. It's really quiet. It's almost dark.
Right before she starts playing, you can see something peeking out from behind a tree. Just a quick flash of what looks like a face. And according to her, it didn't sound like an animal. It sounded like someone shifting their weight, someone trying not to be noticed. And here's where the debate starts. Some viewers believe she's dealing with a stalker or a person hiding in the woods. Because living in the Appalachian Mountains, you often hear stories of people who've gone off grid, loners who wander the forests, or strangers who watch without ever revealing themselves. Others think this is something far stranger, maybe one of those unexplained Appalachian legends people warn you about. But then you have believers who say the whispers, the peeking figure, and the perfectly timed rustling all feel too synchronized to be a random person. They think she's dealing with something not entirely human, something that's been watching her for a long time. So is this a person hiding in the woods, or something else entirely? I'll leave that for you to decide. In this next video, an unusual and honestly unsettling moment was caught on a security camera inside a morgue. Take a look. Right after this video went viral, plenty of health practitioners chimed in, saying moments like this are more common than people think. According to them, a corpse can sit up, make guttural noises, or even move slightly due to muscle contractions, nerve reflexes, or gas release. In the medical world, this isn't considered paranormal, it's just the last bits of the body reacting. But in the paranormal world, this is a completely different story. When a corpse sits up suddenly at the exact moment it's being attended to, many believe it's a sign of a spirit trying to re-enter the body, or a final attempt to communicate something that wasn't said before death. Some say it means the soul hasn't fully crossed over, lingering in a confused or restless state. Others believe morgues, because of what they hold, naturally attract spirits who hover between worlds, making them hotspots for unexplained activity. There are even theories that certain sudden movements may happen when a presence is near, influencing the body or the environment around it. And if you talk to longtime morgue workers, many will admit there are nights where the room feels crowded, even when every bed is still. So with all the debates, theories, and strange stories surrounding morgues, if you experience something like this right in front of you, what would you do? Now, in the following clip, a ghost hunter and his crew visited a house that once belonged to an elderly couple who had passed away, leaving the home abandoned for years. They were only just setting up in the living room when the investigators suddenly heard a sound coming from one of the back rooms. His first thought was simple, probably a rat, or maybe something blown over by a draft. But when he entered the room, this is what he saw.
Dar nu se vede nimic. Deci se aude, dar nu se vede. Mamă, frate, fii atent! Holy shit! Vai, nu mai știu să vorbesc.
Nu mai pot, bă. Ce-o zis? Îmi pun oala în cap.
If it had been only the window, maybe, just maybe, he could have talked himself into a logical explanation. But the moment that old porcelain doll spoke, he knew immediately this wasn't about rodents or loose windows. Something else was in that house, and it seemed to be slowly revealing itself piece by piece, like it wanted them to notice. From there, the activity grew stronger. Cold pockets of air kept passing between the crew members, and a picture frame on the wall kept tilting itself back and forth, almost like someone was trying to get their attention. Every sign pointed toward one truth. Something or someone was in that house with them. After doing a full sweep of the building and confirming no one else was inside, they decided to try communicating with whatever spirit was present. Take a look.
Dă tabloul la jos, poți? Ia să vedem că... Oricare spirit ai afla în balcon, oricare entitate, îți ordon să dai tabloul la jos cu doamna Timea. Băga mea și pula în dracu, gata, eu nu ți-am plecat acasă. Am băgat pula noastră.
When he asked the spirit to pull down the picture frame, and it actually happened, viewers immediately began theorizing.
Mari, hai de pula mea. Vai de cai, splicăm, Ionuț.
Some believe the spirit was trying to show anger or frustration. Others think it was simply responding to acknowledgement, grateful that someone finally noticed its presence. A few even suggested the frame might hold a photo or memory tied to the couple who once lived there, and pulling it down was its way of pointing to unfinished business. The crew then tried something else, hoping to gather information about the spirit's story.
Since when are you dead?
Prizonier.
Doamne, prizonier a fost în război.
Give me a number.
Leonard.
Da.
Bă, să te atragi, eu vorbesc în engleză și ar răspunde în română, mă.
Sometimes spirits who struggle to move on aren't staying because they want to. Some linger out of confusion, unable to accept that they've passed. Others stay because of emotional attachment, a memory, a person, an object they're tied to. And in some rare cases, they remain because they're waiting, hoping for someone to help them finish something they never could in life. The investigators kept communicating, testing the spirit's responses, checking how active and aware it truly was.
Ana Maria, închide ușa aia, oleacă, dacă poți.
Ana Maria.
Ia, marș de aici, Ionuț.
Ce ai, mă?
Băi, s-o închis ușa, tu ești nebun la cap?
Fortunately, their experience that night was calm. The spirit didn't try to lash out or attack. Instead, its interaction seemed intelligent, almost purposeful, like it had a message but couldn't express it fully. But why it still lingers in that house, why it hasn't crossed over, is something the team hasn't been able to uncover yet. So until they figure it out and share more updates, this one remains unsolved. This clip is about a delivery guy who, in his own words, lives life one day at a time. But recently, his days have been anything but ordinary. For months, he's been trying to explain the strange things he's seen and heard while on the job. But every time he shares his stories, his friends either laugh or brush it off as him being dramatic. Everything changed on the 14th of September, 2022, when he was assigned to deliver at a newly developed site with fresh, unfinished buildings. The place looked quiet, almost too quiet, but as soon as he entered one of the buildings, he began hearing strange sounds echoing from deep inside, footsteps when nobody was there, faint voices that seemed to vanish the moment he tried to follow them. At first, he ran out, unsettled, but he couldn't shake the feeling that what he heard was real, so the very next day he went back, this time not for work, but for proof. Have a look.
I'm at this house in somewhere North Carolina. Brand new house. just has been built. And I was making a delivery here yesterday. And I kept hearing something upstairs. And I'm the only one here. I was here by myself. But something kept bumping around up here. Sounded like somebody was walking across the floor. So today we're gonna come check it out. See what it could be. It's kind of odd. As you see, nobody's here. I'm here by myself. Nobody's around. Every single room is empty. Close it. I don't see anything that would have been moved or could move that's up here loose or anything. See, nobody's here. Nobody's hiding anywhere. Nope, nobody. Nobody. See? Now who the hell's crazy now? Did you hear that thump? See, I'm here by myself. Nobody's here. Just me. What the hell? See, nobody's here. What the hell was that? It's a brand new damn house. Nobody's here. We'll go up there in a minute. Still gotta make sure so everybody doesn't think that I'm crazy. I have somebody here with me. Nobody's here. Just me. Nobody's here. Next back out to the hall. Nobody's here. Let's see what could be going on. See, nobody's here. There's nothing possible that could be bumping around by itself or thumping. Nobody, nothing. No animals, no nothing. So, strange how a brand new house is already haunted. Let's see. I just needed proof. But yet again, nobody's here. Proof.
What he recorded stunned even him, and now he's sure that the noises weren't just in his head, they were real, and now undeniable. But he's still worried his friends will dismiss it as edited audio or coincidence, so his plan is simple: bring them along next time. Because sometimes, he says, people only believe what they can see and feel themselves. In the following video, a family has been stuck in the same frightening routine for over a month. Every night, their baby wakes up crying, but it's not just her tears that jolt them out of sleep. There's knocking, someone banging at their door, and for weeks they try to ignore it, focusing only on calming their baby while whispering prayers over and over, hoping it would eventually stop. But on this particular night, they finally decided to check, a decision many people in the comments now call a mistake. Watch.
Sí, están tocándose.
¿Tienes el machete?
No, lo dejé allá afuera. Ah, sí, están tocando de nuevo. Su madre, me da un miedo. Padre nuestro que estás en el cielo, santificado sea tu nombre. Venga a nosotros tu reino, hágase tu voluntad. Se siente bien horrible. La sangre de Cristo tiene poder. La sangre de Cristo tiene poder. La sangre de Cristo tiene poder. Oh, la sangre de Cristo tiene poder. Oh.
On other nights, the knocking would go on for a while before fading away, but this time felt different. The family couldn't stop wondering if it was a neighbor knocking at odd hours or maybe someone passing by who mistook their door for another. And sure enough, it appears someone, or something, really was outside. But their intentions, that's something the family still can't explain. The figure didn't call out, didn't move toward the camera, didn't even seem startled when the door cracked open. It was just standing there. And then, something that had never happened before added a whole new layer to the mystery. Inside the house, the chair suddenly began rocking on its own, as if someone had managed to slip inside during the split second the door was opened. People who saw the video can agree on what's actually happening. A few pointed out that the baby crying every night might not be a coincidence, but the family still has no idea why any of this is happening or what that figure outside wanted, so this one remains a mystery. In this next video, a guy explains that something inside his house has made a habit of staying in one particular spot and moving things around just to get him worked up. At first, he thought it was harmless. Annoying, but harmless. But over time, whatever he was living with stopped staying in that one corner. Watch this.
No sé si alcanzan a oír, por allá se mueve. Es que lo que les digo, cuando le bajo a la música, como que se da cuenta que estoy, no le gusta mi presencia, entonces se queda callado. Pero cuando hago ruido, por ahí estaba moviéndose ahorita. Vive allá atrás, weón, no pasa de ahí. Por ahí se siente, pero nada, no he logrado verle.
Before long, he says he could actually feel it. Sometimes it would grip him out of nowhere. Other times, when it touched him, his entire body went weak. And now the activity has gotten so frequent.
Bueno, antes de salir voy a grabar un poquito porque está todavía presente. Lola tiene más miedo que todos. Tú no sirves para nada, perro. No, nunca se fíen en sus perros. Es que lo cuidan a uno, mentira. Puta, es que la energía aquí es fuerte y escucha. No he sido capaz de andar. Me da miedo. Hola. Me da miedo pasar de ahí. No soy capaz. Porque escucho, lo escucho ahí. Está en el baño, marica, está ahí. Y es como si... Bueno, eres un demonio, ¿qué mierda eres? Es como si se estuviera burlando de mí. Y vieran, la siento, a veces me toca, viene y me toca, y cada vez que me toca me siento como débil. Mira, 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 mira. Hola. Hola. Esa puta. No, no, marica, me voy para la calle. Tengo mucho miedo. Vamos a subirle la música. Ya me voy, dejémoslo ahí. Uf. Bueno, y acá están en severa misa. Ah, bueno. Lola, ¿qué hacemos? No, marica, me voy a poner esa venda y nos vamos para la calle. Bueno, creo que el ejercicio funciona. Efectivamente, está muy activa. Ya sé que eres una mujer, me lo confirmaste hace un ratico. Quiero saber más. Hola. Uf. No, me voy. Me voy a la calle, tengo miedito. Ahorita hablamos.
He later shared in another video that just a few days after moving into this house, his life took a dark turn. He had several misfortunes back to back, an accident, a broken foot, a damaged car, financial trouble, all piling up until he slipped into depression and isolation. And now he's starting to wonder if that heavy moment in his life somehow fed whatever's lurking in his home. Almost like the worse he felt, the stronger it got. But what do you think? Can spirits really feed off a person's emotional state, or is that all just a myth? Now, in this next clip, a man named Joseph had only been living in his new home for a few weeks when something unusual caught his attention. One morning, while out for a jog, he noticed something moving across the tree line. His first thought was that it had to be an animal, but then it became a pattern. Every time he stepped outside, he'd see a quick shift behind the branches, the kind that makes you feel like you're being watched. Concerned for the safety of his wife and kids, he decided to start building a fence. But before he could even finish it, he finally managed to catch whatever had been creeping around on camera. Watch this.
Look, dude, she couldn't find her way over there, so now she's over here. She's back in here trying to fucking find a way into my property. Do you see her? Look at that face. Oh my god. It's right there staring at me. Dude, how scary is that shit? Oh my god, dude. What the She's crawling through all this shit, bro.
At first, it's completely still, but then, if you look closely, the face moves. And at this point, Joseph doesn't even know what to think anymore. A ghost, a strange neighbor, or something entirely different. But what he caught next is what sent the comments into overdrive. Whoever, or whatever, is out there is still hiding, and this time, a hand was captured reaching out from behind the trees. Some viewers believe it might be a homeless person who needs help, suggesting Joseph leave food or clothing outside just in case. But others think something far more dangerous is lurking out there, something that doesn't want to be seen, yet keeps getting closer each time. Some even pointed out that the way the hand appears doesn't look natural, almost like it's studying him, not seeking help. So, which side are you on? In the following video, Kirby J, a woman who's been convinced for months that she isn't alone in her home, finally caught something on camera that she believes proves it. Have a look.
I have ghosts in my house. All of a sudden I'm sitting here and I hear a child's toy going. I hear a child's toy going off back here. By the way, no child has been here. No. I think it's up here. I'm so scared. My mom's grandkids. Don't touch this. What is that? Why would the child's toy be going off if no kid has played with them in months? Like, I kid you not, my nieces and nephews have not touched these toys in months, and all of a sudden it starts singing today? No. Oh my god. After I was just on the phone with my friend telling her I had ghosts in my house. Let me show you. My mom bought this Annabelle doll a couple of years ago. When we first got her, she was facing forward like this. Every day, she's been slowly turning to look out the window. We think that she's mad because my mom puts stuff on top of her box and she doesn't like it. I should mention, the day after my mom brought this Annabelle doll home, my mom broke her ankle in the room right over there in the corner. And then a couple nights ago, my mom tripped on something in the middle of the night. We don't know what she tripped on and got a concussion in the back of her head. I'm scared.
Till today, neither she nor her family has been able to find the toy responsible for making that sound. And that's what makes this situation even stranger, because every toy they own has been checked, moved, and tested. None of them match the noise heard in the footage. But what really got people talking is the creepy doll. According to Kirby, ever since that doll came into the house, her mom has been getting hurt, and for many viewers, that's not something you can just brush aside. If Kirby's analysis is correct, then the doll may be more than just an object. Some believe items can carry attachments, especially if they were previously owned or stored somewhere with negative energy. Others think the doll could be acting as a conduit, a focus point for whatever's trying to get their attention. But here's the unsettling part. The toy sound, the unexplained injuries, and the timing of the doll's arrival all line up a little too neatly. So if it were you, would you keep the doll in the house? Or do you think Kirby should get rid of it before things escalate even further? Now, this next video was recorded inside a church by a priest who was simply trying to make a short announcement about the upcoming Sunday service. But before he could even get through the first few lines, this happened.
Well, hey everybody, Pastor Aaron here. It's my pleasure just to announce that this Sunday will be open. Okay, we've been trying to do this announcement several times today already, and 3 times that podium back there has fallen over on its own, and it's stable. I mean, it's not wobbly at all. It's kind of like that podium has been wobbling. Okay, so we checked the vent. There's a vent there. That is not an air duct that has any forced air at all, so it can't be wobbling from that. There's absolutely no breeze in here. You can see by the banner there. There's no air conditioning. It's these things. They're off. I don't know. So I'm just gonna sit here and watch it for a little bit, and we will. I'll see if it does it again. Ooh, that thing's moving. That hasn't been moving. That's new. Seriously, nothing else. There's no breeze. It's moving again. Good grief.
At first, when the podium fell, people weren't too convinced. Podiums can wobble, floors can shift, and accidents happen, even in a church. But when the flag behind him suddenly started moving in that strange, unnatural way, that's when viewers became uneasy. In a place that's supposed to be peaceful, a place that many consider sacred, that raised a lot of questions. Some believe the church might be dealing with a restless presence, possibly tied to someone who passed away on the grounds or within the congregation. Others think the activity could be connected to something the priest himself mentioned in past sermons: old items stored in the building, renovations that disturb forgotten rooms, or even people bringing in their personal burdens and energies. So, what do you think is going on in this church? A warning? A presence seeking attention? Or is there a perfectly rational explanation hidden behind all this?